Whose respect do I actually want here? Like, is it my mates or is it my kids? Who do I actually want to love me? Like, do I want my mates to think I'm really funny when I'm coming down the pub once a week? Or do I want my kids to look up to me and go, that's my dad? I hated my job. I hated myself. I hated like everything else.
So true.
Yeah.
For what? For that?
For that little bit. And then the reason that I'm going to that bit is because I hate all of the other stuff. So I was like, well, why don't I just make this stuff better? It's an adults only hotel. And they met us with champagne straight away.
Was this like swinging and that?
No, it's not quite like that. But
not quite. It's a couple of hand jobs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Menace to Sobriety. Me with your host with the most, Dan O'Reilly, aka Dapper Laughs, and we are in to our guest sessions. These podcasts, I like to get people on that I know of, normal, everyday people, people with a little bit of a following, famous people, average people, just people that have got serious fucking issues, so you guys can relate. I'm joking, but no. And today I'm really excited actually because I'm bringing on a gentleman that's become a bit of a pal, bit of a writing buddy, bit of a friend, confidant, someone that's in the old inbox now in case I need them, and someone that's got quite an interesting story that you might recognise. This gentleman's been blowing up on TikTok for a while and Instagram, growing a following, very funny. Someone that I look up to in regards to work rate and writing capabilities, and an all-round good-looking fella. His name's Daryl Robinson. I need to do a massive shout out for our official sponsors, Rehubs. Rehubs are brilliant for those that can't afford the cost of normal rehab or have work commitments or children, etc. Because not everyone requires residential care. Rehubs is an online addiction recovery platform designed to make professional support more affordable for you guys that need help. It's flexible and accessible. The platform combines clinical expertise with digital innovation, providing a structured 28-day online rehab program so you can get better online. They offer ongoing support, and it's all put together by the world's top 1% of scientists on addiction. Rehubs offers evidence-based high-quality care, which has better success rate than some of the most famous residential care rehabs. A lot of people come out of the bubble of residential living care and relapse. Rehubs is a program that you can do in your own environment, giving you the best chance of staying sober in your environment and around your everyday triggers. It's a 28-day program that you can do 7 till 8:30 at night in groups, and then you have a one-to-one session weekly. It also comes with 1 year of aftercare and family support groups for those around you so they can come on your journey with you. It's a lot less scary and a fraction of the cost of conventional rehab. All you got to do is hit the link on my bio on any of my social media platforms. You'll find the link there. If you use rehab services through Menace to Sobriety, a bit of the money is going to come back to us to help fund this podcast. So through helping yourself, you're going to help other people. You'll also get 5% off. The link will be in my YouTube videos and my Menace to Sobriety Instagram bio. All right? Or just DM me on any of the platforms to get the link. Running these podcasts aren't cheap, so lots of love to Rehubs.
Oh, thank you. That's a really nice intro.
Thanks.
I like it. I was waiting for the humour at the end.
No, mate. No, that's coming now, mate. That's coming. No, I wanted to give you a nice intro, mate, because you know you're not just another geezer off the street that's had issues that I've pulled on to chat on the podcast. We're pals, aren't we? Really? Yeah.
I feel like I've injected myself in your life quite nicely.
That's what I was going to open with. You know, you're on a sober journey. We're in a similar industry. I think that you'd get a lot of advice and stuff that you could offer the audience. But before we started any of that, I wanted to talk about how we know each other, how you literally managed to infiltrate my life, infiltrate like my friendship circle, infiltrate my fucking work.
Just silently.
Yeah, silently. How do we know each other?
I don't think, I'm trying to think back, I don't think I used to like you. I think...
Is that for real?
Well, I don't know. Do you know what, weirdly as well, because...
What do you mean, like you as a hater?
No, not a hater.
Because if you want to go... No, go on.
Not a good start. No, do you know, this is going to sound...
I don't even know if I like you. One of the first guests in my new series that I put on my stage it's been in my house, mate.
No, do you know, this is going to sound really stupid now, but it's like someone that at the time was like making videos of themselves and just putting themselves out there and that. And I used to just I think I was watching from a distance and just thinking, oh, what an idiot. Like, and I was just thinking, I don't know, for me, I was also never really like, I was quite bad with drinking drugs and stuff like that, but I wasn't really like laddie. I used to go like to football and stuff, but I never got in that crowd. And from a distance, I thought that that's kind of where you was, and that's how it come across on socials.
Well, are you talking about back in the day?
Like ages ago.
I was a knob. Come on,
now,
I was a bit of a knob.
That's what I think. I just looking like I say, making videos and stuff like that. And it felt really melty to me back then, and then obviously that's now what I do. So it's different. But I think so. I obviously sober as well. I got sober just before you. I think a month before, and I heard you on. I don't even know what podcast it was now. It wasn't this one. But I heard you on someone else's, and you was talking about like being around for the kids and stuff like that, and the reasons why you was doing it. And I really related to it. I was like, that's literally why I'm doing it. Yeah. And then I was like, I actually like him, like listening to you. It was more like, because a podcast is more personal, isn't it? So it's not a 5-second bloody Vine clip. So I got to know you then, well, not personally then, but I learned more about you and how your mind works. And I was like, I actually really like him. I've changed my mind. I think he's won me around a bit. Yeah,
just to go back to that, like that's something that I just have accepted that one, you know, if you do my type of humor anyway, you know, as you know now, like it's Marmite, you know, so people will love you or hate you. But secondly, just putting yourself out there. I mean, I had a character obviously, so I was purposely trying to be a little bit you know, I was trying to make a statement, but I look back and I'm like, I can accept that I was a twat because Dapper Last was a knobhead, right? So I don't mind that. But what I think is quite interesting, and I think it does sort of lean into addiction and stuff like that, and escaping who you are and stuff like that. I was so keen to put myself out there to be accepted that you forget sometimes that the more you put yourself out there, sometimes the more it gives people the ick. You know what I mean? Like you were watching it going, fucking hell, why does he keep on making these stupid videos? Why are they on my fucking feed? And now you're like, oh, I get it.
I want to do that. But no, that's what it was. And I didn't even, like, it wasn't even like I was a hater. I didn't know you at all. Like I was just like, that's not a bit of me.
So how did that go from you seeing me on the podcast to you turning up in my gym?
So that's I listened to, so my missus actually followed you probably longer than me.
Of course she did.
She's always sending me your stuff.
And me, she sends me stuff. No, go on.
But yeah, so I think for her, I don't even know if you realise that this is also what you're doing. When you're putting stuff out, it's helping like people like me that want to stop drinking, but it also helps her understand where my brain is.
Really?
So when she's watching, so when she's watching stuff that you're putting out, because you're quite deep and talk about stuff and things that I'm quite happy to talk about a lot of stuff, but I don't go that deep. And sometimes you do, and she'll watch that and she'll go, oh, is this how you feel? And sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But
that's brilliant.
I think you help her understand how I'm feeling sometimes. So she was always like watching it, and I think she sent me the podcast and I listened to it. And then I saw you was doing, I think you did like a January thing to get everyone down to your gym. And I don't know, I just saw it and I thought, you know what? I'm doing quite well with my fitness at the minute. I need to do it. I'd like to meet Dan as well and just say thank you and stuff like that. So I just went down to the gym, and it was a good group of lads as well down there. And just, I don't know, I don't even know if I met you that day. I don't know. Was you? I don't know if you was there the first day. Oh, you was there the first day.
I'd done a promo saying, come down and train with me, but I was like, I'm never going to be there. Just give me your money. No, I think I was doing Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I did meet you eventually anyway, but it wasn't like I come up and was like, oh, Dan, I want to be you. Like, come and be friends with me. It just, I thought it was the right time for me. Just, there's something popped up because I was following you anyway. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I want to go and do that. And you wasn't there most of the time anyway, but it was just something that just popped up. It felt like the right time.
Well, listen, you're on a journey. You're on a journey anyway, and we're all on a. If anyone that's doing what we're doing needs stuff to keep, we're terrified that we're going to fuck up, so we need stuff to focus on. And I was quite open about boxing helping me. And you wandered in with your mate with a ponytail. Yeah. What's his name? Dan, yeah. I liked Dan. He took a couple of hard shots first couple of days.
Black eyes and stuff.
Yeah. I was like, let's test this geezer out. But it was no fucking about in that gym, was it? Do you know what I mean? It was like, and I would say to people, there's quite a few lads that came in that January and that are still sober now, that were getting sober then. But there's a couple that have come off and come back on. But it was like, this has got to be really difficult for us to do. Because it's got to make everything else easier. Yeah. But when you walked in, people knew you already. Like Stu and that, like my boxing coach was like, oh, that guy's TikTok famous. I was like, how many numbers? Talk to me about numbers. He said the numbers. I was like, he's all right. You know what I mean? No, I'm joking. I was
You infiltrated my life then.
yeah,
really,
yeah.
innit?
Then I was like, oh my God, get me on the building site. No, and I was like, oh shit, because I didn't know you, because I purposely try not to consume too much comedy content because it influences, I start nicking your ideas or whatever. But so instead I got you around my house and said, let's just do them together. But no, yeah, and yeah, people knew who you were. And then I went away and I looked at some of your content. And obviously I've got like quite an analytical mind when it comes to writing. Like I'm really passionate about comedy writing, and I admire people's writing ability. And the formula that you'd created, which is brilliant, which is like sort of the key to longevity and being able to come up with content and sort of keep going. It's come up with a formula, you know. You know, you take a subject, you write 12.
Don't tell everyone.
All right, yeah, okay, yeah.
No, it is true, though. It's the same video every day.
Yeah, write a load of funny things about it and then post them. But that to me is consistency. So tell me, how did it go from the boxing gym to being part of the crew, man?
I don't know. You know, I think it just. I don't think like I didn't have an idea, like, because I was obviously wanted to meet you because you're doing the same thing as me. You're doing comedy, you're making sketches, you're sober, and I was like, oh, I actually found myself really relating to that. So I was like, oh, it'd be nice to get to know Dan.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I was like, right, I'm going to go and see Dan now, and I'm going to be on his podcast. But then I also do think that maybe it was a little bit as well, because I do that quite often. If I see somebody that's doing what I want to do, it's very easy to for them to show you how to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know. We was doing. I don't even know what the next step was.
I know how it changed. I know how it changed because I'm very curious when it comes to like comedy, and I was asking you about what you were doing, and you were telling me that you were getting into stand up. Right. And do you remember you sent me your stand up comedy video?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And then didn't I ask you if you'd sent me anything a couple of weeks later?
You said to me, "You're going to send me." I know you said, "I've got." This is what happened actually. Yeah, you said to me, "I've got a really big gig coming up. I really want you to be involved with it.
Yeah.
Can you send me some like stuff so I can see it?" And I was like, "I sent you stuff already, Dan." And you went, "Oh, did I like it?" And I went, "Yeah, you loved it. You said it was really good." And I don't think you'd ever seen it.
No, so. I did see it. I can remember. I can remember watching it. Yeah, I can remember watching it and thinking that, honest truth, thinking that you're funny, just needed more confidence.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love when people are on that little journey. So after then, I just thought like, cool, let's see what we can do together. You done our Men and Their Emotions gig at the O2, held your own, smashed it, bought the roof off. There was loads of people there for you. There must have been hundreds of people that were there for you. So came out, smashed it. I think that really rose your confidence from a stand-up perspective. Gave you a gig at the fucking well, to be fair, you were doing your own Daryl Robinson and Friends with someone else. And I was like, nah, you got to come do that at the Vault. You know what I mean? I was like, we'll make good money out of that, and then I can jump on his bill. And you can make good money out of that. It was a better venue for what you were doing. And then you started doing your own gigs there, and then we started making sketches, and here we are. So I just wanted to sort of lay the foundation as to why Daryl's here, and before we get into who he is and his story. So tell me, man, how did you know you had a problem? When did that start?
I think there wasn't like one. I'll get onto that in a minute about what actually like finished it, but I think it was just a combination of a lot of stuff. Like COVID was one of the things, because we had to stop working eventually, and I realised that all I really had in my life was going to work and going to the pub. And when both of them things were taken away, I was like, oh, what do I actually do? So I think I had like a beer like 3 or 4 days in a row indoors. And then I was like, what am I doing now? I had nothing to go, because I always had work to get back to, and where we didn't have any work to go to. And I think I've said it a few times before, but there was when they said, oh, you can go to the park for a walk or whatever and get out of the house. And where we used to live was like a hill. And I put my kid in the buggy and pushed her up the hill, and I couldn't do it. I was so like, I had no energy. I was massively overweight. I didn't have like anything. So I started walking and getting up to the top of the hill. And I thought, I need to actually change something about this, because if I can't go to the park with my kid, then there's something like really difficult. So I started, it was the weight first. I started dropping the weight and I lost like 7 or 8 stone in the space of a few months, like about 4 or 5 months. And then I started thinking, oh, if I can do that, then maybe there's other stuff that I can do. And I just started thinking about all the different things that I wanted to get rid of. And drink was just It was more drugs, really, to be honest. It was
So
more...
talk to me about that, because what I want to get, because I've never spoken to you about this. No. All I know is all you say to me is, I'm more sober than you. No, I'm joking. No, but all I know is that you're like you said downstairs, that when I get my little milestones, or when you have yours, I'm just kind of behind. So we're just like sober buddies, right? Yeah. I've never really asked what it was. And so when we say drugs, what you're talking about, sniff,
Yeah, pretty much.
And was that a result of your lifestyle work-wise, like working, or was it just your friends growing up? And how often were you doing it? How sort of severe was that? And how was that affecting your family?
Yeah, so I did get to a state, it was more my dad and my uncles, to be honest, when I was growing
Your
up.
old man was doing it? Was you doing it with your dad?
Yeah, so when I was like 17, 18.
No.
It was in and around it with, like, I used to drink with them. Like, when I first started drinking at 16 in the pubs, that was with my dad, because I used to work with the same company as my dad. So we used to go on a Friday and we'd be in the pub, and then that's what happened. And it was only about 6 months to a year. So I must have been 17. I started using the stuff in the pub. So I'd done a little bit on the estates and stuff.
Can you remember the first time?
It was on the estate when I was with my mates. It was like probably like 15, 16.
And someone went, we've got this, do you want to try it?
You end up doing it. But it wasn't like I did it then, and then I started taking all the time. I weren't using a lot, but then it was being in around with my uncles and that, and seeing that, because it weren't like they were blatant. They were just standing in the toilet doing it. So it weren't like it was hidden. And then it just sort of...
So one day you're just in the toilet with your uncle, your dad, and they're going, boom, boom, boom. And at some point they went, do you want one?
Yeah. So what actually happened with my dad is I told him, because like I say, it was all out in the open with everyone. And I was like, he's going to know. He probably knows anyway. So I literally said to him, well, I got something to tell you, Dad, like, blah, blah, blah. And I've managed to tell him somehow, whatever. And
that you'd had a line before.
And then he went, all right, have you got any? And I said, yeah, you want me coming then? And then that was it. And it's just become...
So you had it on you.
Yeah.
So you just wanted to just be like, you essentially didn't want to hide it anymore from him.
And it wasn't a long time. It was only a few months anyway. But he then made it normal, because he was like, well, go on then. And then that was it. And then it was a lot around football and stuff. Like I used to go to Chelsea every week, or every other week. And it was always there as well. So it become in the circle I was in, which is the same for a lot of people, right? It was just normal. Everyone was using it. So it was just a thing. And at one stage I did get, because I then took it to an extreme. Like, my dad's never been someone that's taken all the time, and like he will do if he goes out, but he's not out all the time. Whereas
so
me,
he can take it or leave it. Yeah.
And I've never been that person. So what happened with me is I started going out 3 or 4 times a week, and every time I was out, I was calling it on and getting it. And then one stage, I think I was every single day I was using and just going straight through. And then, I don't know, it got to a point where eventually I couldn't sustain that. So this was before I had kids and everything. And then I sort of peaked there. And then I think one of my mates like took me aside and was like, what the fuck are you doing? I remember being at a pool table at the New Town in Sutton. It's not even there anymore. And he said to me, you've been standing there for 15 minutes holding a pool cue, you haven't moved, you just like zoned out. And he dragged me aside and had a bit of a chat with me. And I mean, he was like a drinker and a drug taker as well. But when he said it to me...
What did he say? Can you remember?
No, I can't really remember. I remember that bit. I remember him saying, you've been standing there for 15 minutes, mate, and you haven't taken a shot. Like, are you all right? And I just thought, I think I told him to fuck off and went home. But I think it stuck with me that. And because he was someone that was out all the time as well, for him to say it, I was like, oh shit, there actually might be a problem. And that was the first time I realised there was a problem, but it was years later where I actually stopped. And for me, like, the reason I actually stopped, there was a few times that my missus had said to me, that is it. Like, if you do this again, because I used to go and not come home for 3 days. Like, it weren't like I was going for a few hours down the pub, but I would not go, because I got into a stage where I knew that she was going to be pissed off. So I used to think, well, I'm not going back then. And because I was only doing it at that stage every like 3 or 4 months, it was like a massive blowout. And I was like, right, well, this is the last time I'm going to get to do this, so I might as well fucking make the most of it. And I'd be out for 3 or 4 days and not care. I wouldn't answer the phone or turn my phone off, and I would just go anywhere where anyone was awake. I wouldn't even care where I was or who I was with. I just wanted to stay out. And I did that like 2 or 3 times towards the end. And she said, if you do that again, like, we're done, that's it. And I did. I went out for Christmas. Well, we had a Christmas, so I had quite a lot of guys working for me at the time. And I think it was probably 2021, because I think it was when they said you couldn't go to the pubs again just at Christmas. So we didn't have a Christmas work do. And I felt bad. It got to like August and we was doing really well. So I was like, I'll take everyone for like a summer work do. We'll go out to London, we'll all have a beer and just like get amongst it and see what happens. And that's what we did. And I got excited because I hadn't been out for ages again and ended up not taking drugs, which was what I thought would have happened, but they all ended up fighting. And we came back from London and we was in Sutton and there was a massive fight and everyone was involved. I had a lot of like 18, 19, 20-year-olds working for me. And some of them, my cousins and stuff, and they was all fighting and stuff. And I managed to get them all back into the hotel room because I'd booked a hotel for some of them and got them in there. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing? I got a baby on the way, blah, blah, blah. And they was all like, how good was that? Like, that was the fucking best night ever. I had one of them in the corner covered in blood. Another one was in the shower, like trying to cool off. And he was like, let's go back out. And I remember looking around thinking, I am fucking done with this shit. And I made the decision there. I was like, right. I think it was like 4 a.m. as well. And I said, right, like, I think I'm done. And I'd never done that when I was still out. Like all the other times have been like on the come down and stuff. I remember I was still out and I was like, I've had enough of this. I'm done. And I remember going back home at like 4 or 5 a.m. Mrs. Mum was there and the kids and her little brother. And I just felt like an absolute scumbag. I walked straight into the bedroom and I knew she was pissed off. And I just felt like absolute shit. And she fucked off to her mum's for like 3 days. And I kept saying to her, like, I'm done, I'm actually done. And she didn't believe me. And then I started thinking, I don't know if I believe me. Like, do I actually believe?
Was she pregnant then?
Yeah, she was pregnant with Hattie, who's 2 now, or nearly 3 now. And that's what she said. I did this the first time round. I don't know if it's a thing, like, I don't know. Obviously, we was having a baby. So it's just like, it's quite a big thing for men as well, in it to like make sure I'm providing the stuff. So I'd done a lot of big business decisions, like we've taken on a new contract and there was a lot of pressure as well. And I think that was part of it. But she said to me, I'm not going through this again. I'm not having another kid with you like this. So if you want to stop, stop. But if you don't stop, then we're gone. And I believed her this time. And I sort of thought, because again, I'd taken on a new contract and I got there on the Monday morning. So I think we went out on the Saturday. I was still feeling like shit the Monday, but I had to go because it was the first day of the new contract. And because we went out for the work do on the Friday, I hadn't sorted nothing out. So I had like 15 guys saying, where am I? What are we doing? And I hadn't sorted none of it. I was like, everyone's having a day off. I don't care. And then my brother rang me, who'd been out as well, who I'd dragged out, who didn't even want to go, and got him. He was in the shit with his missus. And he rang me and said, oh, where's my van? And I was like, oh, I left it at the pub. So that was nowhere either. We had a brand new contract. I'd basically fucked up on the first day. And I remember sitting there just thinking, if I felt like this every day, I would never, ever drink again. It would never happen. So I took my phone out and I wrote down all of the things that I was thinking about, like the missus' mum being there, my brother arguing with his missus, the fact that I've got 15 guys out who've got nowhere to go to work, that the new contract could get lost, I've got a baby on the way. And I just kept writing for like half hour. I wrote down all of the things, just from one night out as well, not like overall, just from one night out, all the things that it had caused. And I said to myself, if you want to have a drink again, then have a drink, but you have to read this list first. And that's the only promise I made.
That's really good.
And I never, so the thought of opening that, because I knew what it made me feel like. I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. It makes me feel sick, even thinking about the stuff that I wrote.
Shame, mate, shame.
Yeah, it is. And that's the promise I made. It's not, you're not going to drink or you're not going to do it. I thought, right, if you want to have a drink, fine, but you have to read this whole note first. And I didn't even open it. I couldn't. Every time I started getting the thing, I was like, okay, but you made a promise, so read the note. And that was enough to get me to stop. And then eventually I opened it when I got a year sober, and I shared the whole list on social media to try and help other people.
Oh, wow.
Weirdly, when I opened it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because in my head, I'd made it so bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what I wrote. Bearing in mind, I was on a come down already, so I don't know what I wrote in there. But yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I opened it because I didn't want to open it, because I thought, oh, if I open it and I read it and it's not that bad, then maybe I'll go back to drinking. But I did. Something just compelled me to open it on that day. And like I say, I shared the whole list, and it's helped loads of people since then. But that for me was the thing, because I couldn't make myself the promise that I'm not going to drink, because it didn't work. So I was just like, okay, this is, because then I was thinking, it's a mindset, right? I don't think anybody has ever not had that feeling. You know, when you've been out and you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm never drinking again. I don't want to do it.
I think the funny thing is that people don't because it's so culturally sort of embedded in us, that a lot of these problems that you'll find with work, with your relationship, with your mental health, a lot of these financial problems or arguments with friends or arguments with family, all of this shit that's associated with just fucking pressing the fuck you button at the weekend. I reckon a very, very tiny percentage of people actually link that to the drinking and the alcohol. They just go, life is shit. They just go, everything's going wrong. And in fact, it's a vicious circle, because they wake up on a Monday and they go, fucking look at all this shit that's happening in my life anyway. I can't wait for the weekend again.
Yeah.
It's mental.
Wait, it's such a tiny portion of the week as well.
Yeah.
What you're looking forward to. Like, that's what I've done now. Like, there's stuff that I'm looking forward to, like coming out to your shows and being in around that, or my own comedy gig, or even silly things like going and making content. Like, I get excited when I'm going to be seeing people and making content, and that's now exciting.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like, the only exciting part of my week, that's what I realised in COVID, because that's what I was looking forward to, which tells me that the rest of my week is shit.
That's that. Yeah. I mean, that's such a massive thing for me to hear that from you, because I was in such a similar position, and that's why it was so hard for me to get sober, because I literally thought, what else have I got if I ain't got the pub and my mates? What else have I got if I ain't got getting off me nut? What else have I got? And I had 2 kids at home when I was thinking that. I had 2 little baby girls that had gifted me their childhood. And I was still fucking in the house going, get me out of the house. I don't mind admitting it now. You know, there's a lot of shame and guilt around our behaviour back then, but it's very important that we talk about it openly, because there's a lot of lads that are going through it that are in denial now. I've got a friend of mine that's struggling, but he's trying his hardest at the moment to sort things out, and I think it's twice as hard, if not fucking 20 times as hard, to get sober if you're not with your kids, or you don't have kids, or you're not around your kids. It's been a massive thing for us. So any lads out there that can't see their kids or aren't with their kids, I really feel for you. But the truth is, it's not just about family. It's not just about your family life and home life. Like you just said, I now enjoy shit. Like you just said, like normal everyday life shit, mate. Like I enjoy like watching a decent film. I enjoy writing and working and touring and whatever, but I also enjoy, you know, bumping into people or going out and doing things, you know, going to the winter markets and all of that, whatever. I enjoy that shit now because it's an actual thing I'm doing. It's not drinking. And I think that that's really important, that you get your life back.
I don't think kids are enough. I know it sounds shitty, but I had kids already.
Yeah, no, it's not.
They're not enough. People say, "Oh, couldn't you just do it for your kids?" But like,
you have to do it for yourself.
It has to be for you.
You have to be sick of your own. You have to be sick of the way that you feel. But in order to be sick of the way that you feel, you have to admit that you feel like that because of the drink and drugs. Yeah. Like I know for many, many, many years, I was rowing with the missus, waking up feeling fucking aggy, angry. I was pissed off at everyone, falling out, letting people take advantage of me as well, because I was a fucking people pleaser. Do you know what I mean? I didn't give a fuck if you were mugging me off, just as long as you liked me, because I didn't like myself, right? Now, I actually think I'm a decent human being, and I'm sort of sound in my mind that when people are a bit rude or funny, or I'm like, fuck, I've got enough pals. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But back then I was collecting fucking buddies. I was like, everyone be my friend. And whenever I had arguments or something was going wrong, I was like, why are they fucking giving me shit? It was never the booze. It was never the sessions. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It never was. It was like everyone was in the way of that. One thing I wanted to just go back to that you spoke about, I think it's quite interesting that you were session daily, then you cut back, right? And I think that this is a very common denominator that happens with men especially, is that we get into the sesh life. It becomes quite a lot. We realise it's quite a lot. Stuff creeps up on us, like mortgages, business, families and stuff. We cut back, but the beast is still inside us, right? That fuck you button or the escapism or whatever, which makes it even worse, because when it's time to go, it's fucking go time. So you weren't doing fucking 3-day benders before that, but that's my fear of relapsing, because I know how my mind works. 100%. If I was to relapse, like if it was coming now, right, and it's coming up to Christmas, something pissed me off, because I don't think that I'd ever be convinced to drink or do drugs from wandering into a pub or someone going, "Hey, do you want some coke?" Because I'm a different person now. It would have to be something really bad happening in my life. Do you know what I mean? Where I'm like, I can't deal with this. And if that happened and I went, fuck it, press the button.
Let's go.
I know as soon as I'd have the first line or the first drink, I'd go, I'm fucked now. Let's get as much as we can.
Get it out of the way. That's what I used to do.
But yeah, let's get as much in us as we can. Like, let's try and enjoy it as much as possible because I've got to face the world after this and then it's day one again.
Exactly, going back to reality. And that's what I used to do every time. Because a lot of people say to me, oh, I wish I could stop like you did, but I've tried a few times and failed. I'm like, yeah, so did I. Like, I didn't just go, oh, I'm going to stop now, and that's it. I failed loads of times. Every single time I tried to stop. Yes, I've stopped now, but like, I didn't. Like, so I did keep failing. And that's what was happening because I done like 3 months, and then I think I did like 4 months after that. And every time I went back to it, I did exactly what you just said and thought, right, well, if I'm going to go out, I might as well just fucking go out because this is the last time I'm going to get to do this. And I don't want to go back to her because she's going to be mad. I don't want to go back to myself because I'm going to be mad. Yeah. And eventually that has to stop. But I think
the key, go on.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That I think you have to go through that and not win a few times before you can actually stop. Because every time I did that, because I failed and went out and I felt sorry for myself, that shame got bigger and bigger every time. And it needed to get to a point where it was so big, like the thought of not being able to do that again was enough to stop me.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of comments on my content and people saying, you know, relapses are a part of the journey, and I'm in such two minds about it because I never want to condemn anyone that's relapsed because the last thing that you want to do is make people feel like shit when they feel like shit. So whenever anyone messages me and says, oh, I've relapsed, I'm like, well, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, let's not hammer your mental health any more than the drink and drugs have already done. It's done. But let's get back to fucking work. But I don't like the saying really that relapse is a part of the journey, because if I had that in my mind at the beginning, I'd be like, oh, a couple of relapses here and there. Like when I went sober, I went, and maybe I'm fucked up and it's the wrong thing to do, but I just like to be honest, especially on this podcast. And I know that a lot of experts will say it's the wrong thing to say, and it probably is. But a lot of people say each day at a time, I'm just not going to drink today. I don't say that. I say I'm never drinking again my whole life ever. I don't leave a smidgen of like, like in my mind, I go, I'm never drinking again. Apart from sometimes I go, when the kids are like 30, maybe I will. And then Carlos, he's always fucking in my ear. He's like, oh, what? Your kids ain't going to need you when you're 30. I'm like, all right, okay, I get it. But like,
I've never said
I do still make like because maybe when you're on holiday I still do that.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I was. So the thing you shared this week with you I messaged you actually.
Yeah,
you saying about you struggling and around Christmas and stuff like that. My missus sent it to me and she said, "Is this how you feel?" And I said, no, actually, it's not.
You messaged me saying that you don't get those struggles.
No, I was shocked, but Christmas for me was never a thing.
You were shocked when I said that.
Yeah, I was shocked that you were still struggling the way you was. Because for me, yes, I still struggle, but I don't. It isn't like a part of my personality anymore. I don't struggle with it like you do. I don't think.
I'm really sad that I've lost my friends.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like so, this is what happened. So my missus said to me, is this how you feel? And I said, no, because I've got different friends now that are actual friends. Like, and that's no disrespect to the friends I used to have, because at the time, they were my best mates and I used to love it. But now I've got friends, like last night actually, at 9:30, I had a parcel delivered to my old house by accident for my missus' birthday. And I text one of my mates who lives there around that way and said, it's just been delivered outside. Can you go and get it? And he said, yeah, went and got it straight away. Like, and it's just things like that. Like the group of friends I've got now will do anything for me and I will do the same for them, because that's the environment I've created now. Whereas back then, none of them friends would have done that. They would have just been like, so it's different. But that wasn't, for me, what that actually made me realise is I actually miss my missus, because we used to go out and drink. She was never taking drugs, but we used to, when we used to go out for a date night, we'd go book a hotel somewhere, go and have a few drinks and just have a great night. And I don't think we do that anymore. Yeah. We still go out and we go for walks and we go to meals and things like that.
So you miss that you miss that social,
Yeah. And I said it to her, and it was something that you made me realise this without knowing, but because I was like, oh no, I don't miss that. But then I was thinking, I do miss like the relationship we had, even though our relationship is better now. You never have them heights of just falling over, laughing and drinking in a pub and like really just coming out. It's not even like coming out of my shell, but like I don't go, I'm not a confident person. And I know like, yes, I'm doing stand-up and we're sitting here talking now and I make videos on social media, but I don't feel confident. I do that regardless of whether I'm confident or not. But when you've got alcohol involved, I will be more out there and I will jump up and dance and land on tables and fall down stairs and I think that's fun, what we was doing then. And we don't do that now. And I think I do miss that. And that's the only thing that ever makes me want to go back to drinking. I did a holiday with my missus, just me and her.
Did you struggle there?
Yeah. But I didn't think I would. But as soon as we got there, it was an adults only hotel, and they met us with champagne straight away.
Was this like swinging and that?
No, it's not quite like that. But
not quite. It's like a couple of hand jobs.
I wasn't drinking, so there was none of that. But yeah, they met me with champagne at the door, and I took it.
Yeah, I had that on holiday. I was like, mate, fuck off, man.
And yeah, but I did. But then she said to me, like, if you want to drink, like, we're on holiday. You know, like when people are dieting.
She said that. Oh, mate, if Shelley said that to me, I would have been like, get me a fucking tequila now.
It's hard, isn't it? So she said to me, look, when you go on holiday and you're dieting, you go on holiday and you fuck the diet off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? That's crazy that she was all right with that.
She wasn't all right with it. She said it because
need it.
That's what she said. If you want to have a drink.
No, I don't mean she's all right with that. What I meant is, it's crazy that she cares about you so much. Like, that she loves you so much. She saw it and she went, do you know what? If you need to, you can. It'll be all right. Yeah, have a break.
And honestly, so what I did, I gave her because I took the champagne as well. When I walked in, because it's just polite, right? Someone walks in, oh, champagne. And I was like, oh, thank you. And immediately thought, I'm not drinking that. And then I sat down and she said, are you going to drink that? And I said, no. And she went, well, like, we're away for 3 days. So if it is something that you want to do to get it out. And I was like, no, I don't. And then I walked off to the toilet. And then I thought, oh, like, should I do that? Like, if I have, it was only a 3-day holiday. I thought I can have a drink today.
Yeah.
We'll wake up tomorrow. We'll go back to the kids on Monday and everything goes back to normal. And it was a thing I had for about 10 minutes sitting in the toilet on my own. And then I went, no, fuck it. If I want to drink, I'll drink tomorrow. Yeah. So I said to her, I'm not going to drink today. Went back. She didn't drink it either. We walked back to the room. I was like, right, I'm done. Went in there, beers in the fridge. And I was like, what the fuck are you lot doing to me? So I rang the hotel thing. And I said, can you do me a favor? Come back to my room, get rid of all of these alcohol drinks because I don't want them in here. Not your fault, obviously. I said, but I am sober now and I don't want them in there.
Fair play.
And then we went to the pool, and then when I went back, it was gone. And then the whole thing was gone for me then because the temptation was gone.
Oh man, that's triggered me a little bit, you know, like thinking about it, because I can feel how difficult that is. And yeah, I mean, just on holidays. See, I think that we're very different in our sobriety, but it's beautiful to see those differences. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But also so similar, like, because I can feel your energy and I'm the same. I think while Shelley was trying to work out how to deal with me sober, we went through a few things like this. We went on a holiday to Mexico, and our holidays are very different now. See, Shelley naturally has like kind of stopped drinking, but she'll have a glass of wine maybe occasionally with her Sunday roast, or if she goes out away from me, like with her friends, like she went out for like a school mothers meeting, and she came back a little bit tipsy, which I don't mind, because you know what, it kicks off, doesn't it? You know, when she comes in, she's like, I'm always make sure I've done a couple of press ups and that when she comes in. If she goes to like a garage brunch and that, mate, I've got the Johnny on when she walks in.
Yourself awake.
But she doesn't get pissed around me anymore, right? And that, I think that was stems from the holiday we went to Mexico. I was early on. I think I was just coming up on 6 months.
Same as me.
It was brand new for me, and I was fucking angry about not being able to drink. And we went to an all-inclusive in Mexico, and all the fucking Americans just like, yeah, how you doing? All by the pool and swim up bar and that, getting pissed. It was hard, and I really struggled one night, and I think it was a turning point for me and Shelley, because I said to her, just drink, man, like just drink. And it was perfectly fine when she was having a couple of glasses at dinner, or she was having like a pina colada by the pool. But once we met other couples and they were getting pissed, there was this one geezer that I met. He could not believe I was there. He was like, what the fuck is Dapper Laughs doing in my hotel? And then he was like, I can't believe that you're fucking sober, mate, when I've met you. And he was like, honestly, trying to convince me to do coke. He was like, the coke in Mexico is unbelievable. Wow. And I was like, you've got it? And he was like, yeah. Like, he was like, I can't not have a fucking line with you. Like, I've been watching you for ages. And once I told him like straight, like, listen, I'm serious about this. if you go on about it, I'm going to have to fucking swerve you, mate. Like, I'm here with my kids. He stopped asking, but I could see he was sniffed up every night. I could see it, right? And it was fucking burning a hole in my soul. I was like, oh my God, why am I missing out? And one night, she'd arranged, because we're all getting on well, the kids were all playing with each other. There's about 3-4 couples of us now and their kids. And one night they said that they're all going for a meal together, and I just said, no, I'm not coming. And she was like, come on, no. I was like, no. And we had a bit of a thing, because I was like, listen, go then, take the kids, but I ain't fucking going. I'm going to the gym. I went to the gym for like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. I was fucking punching the bag, doing everything I could. I can remember it was the first time I ever listened to the Ed Sheeran song that's about coke. I don't know if you know which one it is. One of his, I put it on my story. I suddenly realised that he was talking about coke in his song. I can't remember what it is. I'll find out. But it's where he's like up all night till 2 a.m. Like, it's one of his songs, and I was listening to it over and over. Oh my God, he's fucking talking about coke. It's just in my mind, and I was so angry, man. And then when Shelley saw me later that night, she was like, "Fucking hell, you're right." I was like, "No, I'm not." And then I think something clicked with her that this is like hell for me at the moment. And after that, it was like she was like, "Oh fucking, let's try and be more I never ever wanted her to stop drinking, because she never had a problem, and I didn't want to put that on her. But I think that was a turning point, that like, if we're gonna survive this and navigate this, then just don't get fucked up around me, or don't have me around other people that are getting fucked up, because I can't make the right choices yet."
Yeah, so it's very similar. And I think, like I say, I think that is the only thing that makes me want to go back to drinking. It's not my mates, it's not my dad, it's not football. It is the relationship. So it's something that, this is literally this week where you put that video up, and it's something that we've spoken about with the missus.
Yeah, because when you messaged me, you were like, "Oh, I didn't even realise," and I was like, "Well, don't you struggle at the thought of it?" And you was like, "No, not really." But to me, growing up, because I moved out when I was 15 with my pals, and every single year, I mean, it wasn't even about work dues. Every single year it was like, let's me and the boys get fucked up as much as we can over Christmas. Christmas Eve was about going out, getting on it. Every day we'd send each other pictures of the drinks. Me and my mate Matty, we'd just constantly like drink 1, drink 2, drink 3, drink 4.
Yeah, I've never had a drink Christmas Eve, not once.
Well, we used to get on it. I used to sniff all the way through. And then it's horrific if you think about it now. But also the whole thing symbolises for me is I don't really have much of a relationship with them boys anymore. I'm trying to patch things up. I don't know if it's because of how I behaved, or just because I went sober and they're still in the mix. But not drinking over Christmas, I get it confused in my mind sometimes. Like, it's not just the fear of missing out. Like, I miss my old life. I miss my old friends, and it makes me feel lonely.
Yeah, so I've got, do you know why I think I don't miss my old friends? Is because I found out a lot of them didn't like me. I think that's what, like, I was speaking to people afterwards, like trying to reconnect with people, like you're saying.
Maybe that's what happened to me.
Yeah, so I think that I didn't know at the time, because they liked being around me. And yeah, I just didn't realise that everyone thought I was a dickhead back then. And I think
maybe that's the same as what happened to me, because I was a bit of a prick.
Yeah, and I think that's what, so then they don't get over that, I don't think. So it was hard for them to
do you know what I think it is? What I think it is if, like, for me, I'm always pushing. So I'm like, I mean, you've been around me. I'm non-stop. I'm like, I want my tour. I want my film to be successful. I want a better life. I want this. I want that. I want. I'm like pushing. I'm working. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning, and then I'm talking about what's next. I've had this idea. I've had that idea. You mix coke into that, you can look like you got a massive ego. Yeah. And I was a piss-taking twat. Like, I was just ripping the granny out of everyone when I was off me nut, and thought I was like the centre of attention. But do you know what I think? I think that that's acceptable if you're getting off your nut with them. Do you know what I mean? If you're doing that and you're getting off their nut with them, then you're like, oh, mate, he's a bit annoying, but
he's one of us.
He's one of us. If you go sober, you're just annoying.
Yeah.
So you're like, do we really like him? Well, do we really like him?
Yeah.
Nah.
And that's what I found out, and I think that's what helped me. But now, don't get me wrong, I went for like a year having no.
How did you know they didn't like you? What do you mean?
One of them told me. Yeah, one of them told me.
I'm sorry.
No. What
did he say?
He didn't tell me he didn't. I said to him, like, do you fancy meeting up like with the kids? And he was like, not really, mate, to be honest. It's not really something that we ever did. And he's still drinking. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, what do you want? And he was like, oh, I would invite you out, but obviously, like, none of the boys really like you anymore. And I was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean? And he went, oh, like, what he said first was like, oh, because you're like doing this sober thing and you've stopped like ignoring everyone, like basically, because I just stopped going out.
Do you think it's because we become selfish when we first go sober?
I think so, because you have to, right? So I did that, and then he was like, "It's not that you think you're better than everyone now," but he was like, "No one even liked you." Like, you just started going in, and he was like, even at the time, like, people didn't like being out of you because he was always fighting. Like, we never knew when we was going to get in trouble, and like, there was always that side of it. And I was like, in the end, I was just.
Was he really aggressive when you was drunk?
Yeah, yeah, especially with drugs. Like,
I could never imagine you like that.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? I'm a different person, but like literally every night, I like guaranteed to have a fight with someone.
Why? What would you start it or look for it?
I
or
always
just
thought
be
I
up
didn't
for it?
start. I always thought I didn't start it, but I haven't had a fight since. So I obviously did, but I think I had a very small trigger. I think like the thing from me going to a disagreement to fighting was very quick. So I think that maybe in my head I weren't starting the fights, but someone would just call you a prick or a bar or just like look at you funny or anything, and it used to cause a fight with me. And going back then, don't get me wrong, if there was a fight, everyone would come over and be like, "Oh, it's kicking off," and they want me involved. But being out with me probably at the time was a bit difficult. Plus, I was always like, my whole evening revolved around drugs. So if the drugs were running out, I'm not interested in talking to anyone anymore. Like, I'm going to get, I need it. So like, fuck you lot. And I was always like zoned in on it. And I think it just annoyed people at the time. But I don't talk to anyone, not a single person who I talked to that I was friends with 3 years ago. Not like no one. Like, there was a couple of people that I might talk to on Instagram and stuff, but none of them. And my whole circle of friends now, I didn't know 3 years ago. And it's not like I went from that group to that group. It didn't happen like that. It was like on my own for fucking ages.
Yeah, same as me.
Yeah, and I think you have to do that.
Same as me, yeah.
Everyone's, like that is the biggest thing I would definitely say. If you are going sober, you are probably going to lose your mates.
Yeah, but I think, look, listen, the harsh reality of it is, what do you want, man? Like, I'm 41 years old, and I really struggle with it. Like one of my best mates, my best man at my wedding, like, for some reason we stopped talking. I reached out to him recently and sent him a text, and I was like, look, I don't know what I did, or if there's anything that you want to talk about that I did, because, you know, I'm in a place where I can hold my hands up, or like, I don't know what your problem is, or if there's anything I missed, but I don't know why. And then he ignored it, and then I sent a couple of pictures, like he was an ex-girlfriend, a couple of pictures, like you would, like you
us together.
Yeah, of us together. And it cracked him, and he messaged back going, look, man, the pictures got me, but, you know, I don't want to get deep. And I suddenly thought, maybe there's nothing, man. We just fucking drifted apart. And actually, the fact that I'm so deep and in my emotions and talking about shit is a fucking turn off for other lads. And like, I don't even want to get into that. So I'm just going to leave it till the time's right and be like, look, do you want to do something? And I think that just because we're on these journeys doesn't mean they have to be. And also, it can be a bit condescending. But also, look, the bones of it is, when my head starts wobbling, I'm like, I'm 41 years old. I've got 4 kids. You got 4 kids, mate, as well. Yeah. That's another thing, man, that we got in common. You
got a boy, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a boy, bruv. Yeah. So sometimes I think, like, that's great advice for you to say to people, at any lads out there, especially, you are going to lose your mates. But what do you want, man? What do you want? Life, a family, money, like a decent job, like build a life for yourself? Or do you want your pals? Like, come on, man.
Once a week as well, by the way, like with the pals. So I was seeing my mates on a Friday night, and that's it. So like, what's that, like 5% of your life? And then the rest of the time, I hated my job. I hated myself. I hated like everything else.
So true.
Yeah.
For what? For that?
For that little bit. And then the reason that I'm going to that bit is because I hate all of the other stuff. So I was like, well, why don't I just make this stuff better? Yeah. So I actually enjoy it. And you know, like I go, like, I think you touched on it earlier. Like, I will go to the park with my kids now and enjoy myself. Or like, the thought of me going out, when my missus used to say, oh, should we go for a coffee, or do you want to go for dinner? I'm like, fuck off.
So alien.
Yeah, fuck off. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah, with you and all.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And now I enjoy it. But again, it never gets me to the heights it did before. Like, I enjoy going for a walk with my missus. I love walking. Like, it's nice, and we get to know each other and stuff, and have a chat and catch up on things that we haven't really spoke about because the kids have been around. But it's never that. But for me, I just, like you said, I think, do whose respect do I actually want here? Like, is it my mates or is it my kids? Like, who do I actually want to love me? Like, do I want my mates to think I'm really funny when I'm coming down the pub once a week, or do I want my kids to look up to me and go, that's my dad? And that's what I sort of wanted, and now I feel like I've got that. Especially so, Hattie, like I say, is nearly 3. I've never had a drink, and the new baby as well, but she's obviously like just got here. But with Hattie, I've never had a drink since she's been alive, and it always, I remember holding her the first time. I was like, I've done it. Like, that's it now. Like, I've got you. Let's go. And with the other two, they're a bit older. But even them, so my eldest is 12. So she would have been 8 or 9. And she sees some awful stuff.
Yeah,
like,
so did my niece.
Awful stuff. And there is so much, I feel, it makes me feel sick now thinking about the stuff that she went through with me being the way I was. Because the difference in her personality compared to my other kids, how confident they are and how assured of themselves they are, and like they're just willing to, even silly things like she won't, we was doing a thing where we're jumping off a thing like this high into the sand or whatever, and she won't do it because she just feels not safe and the other kids are just off. And I think that's a massive part of that, because I have been better for them.
Yeah.
And just looking at them now, like that's what I want. That's whose respect I want is theirs, and nothing else really matters.
That's really powerful, mate. That's a bit of me that is you saying that. That's really powerful. That will really help people, mate. And I feel your pain. I feel your pain. But you know, I look at Neve and she saw some rows and she saw me at my worst and some really unpredictable behaviour, and I can tell it's affected her. She you know, she still mentions bits and bobs, but also, you know, it's okay to look back and feel a little bit of shame, because that's your power, mate. Like, you know, I know it's not right, but also since then, everything's been so right. Sometimes we need that motivation, and, you know, the fact that you see it is what a lot of men are lacking. And yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
That is tough to hear that, but and it must be tough to sit with you. I have the same about my wedding. I've spoken about it before. I wish I'd got sober for that, but I'm the same with the new kids that haven't seen me drunk. And a great thing that I try and keep in my mind is, I think, like, what are they going to remember? Do you know what I mean? Like, how quick is it going to be? They're 18. How quick is it going to be? Like, right, the decisions we make right now as men, the decisions that we make today are going to shape their memories, right? So I always think to myself, fucking hell, when she's 19, like, even though your daughter, how old did you say your first one was? She's the
eldest, 12.
What's her name? 12?
Amelia.
Amelia. How old was she when you got sober?
So it would have been 8 or 9. I don't know.
Yeah, so 8 or 9. So still the majority of her life now, she's going to remember you.
Yes,
you know, that you're going to compound enough memories in that by the time people ask her, this is what you've got to remember. By the time people ask her, what was your dad like?
Yeah.
Or what was your childhood like? By the time she gets to 19, 20, she's going to have enough compounded positive stuff that her core memories are going to be, oh, do you know what? He's brilliant.
Yeah.
And she's going to see you parenting her sisters, right? So I think that is a really important lesson, that or something that men out there that are struggling to find motivation to get sober, that have kids, what are they going to remember?
Yeah.
I think that's
powerful. And it is true. She's 8, right? If you think back to when you was 8, there's core memories there.
Yeah.
But 8 to 18 is massive.
Mate, I can't. I think I had quite a traumatic childhood, because I can't fucking remember nothing before.
Same.
Before about 13.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that it probably shaped us. But also, I've put myself, because what she has seen and been through, and where she's at now with her confidence, like her confidence is shot and stuff like that. I've been through that now in the last 2 or 3 years. So I kind of know coping strategies. So I'm also in the position to help her get through it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that she suffers with, her anxiety and stuff like that. And I've been through all of that, and I still go through all that now. And I'm learning, because I'm sober now, and because I'm hyper aware of everything. Like, I know my feelings, they come, and I know them straight away. But I'm like, right, that's what's happening here. I need to go for a walk. I need to go for a run. I need to go to the gym.
That awareness that you're talking about is what men are lacking.
Yeah. And it is.
That's what the men that are struggling. Remember, because I have, since you've known me, you've probably realised how much I wobble. I wobble a lot, right? And in the group that we're in with Pat, we had a day where I was like, look, I ain't having a good day. This ain't good for me. Like, saying ain't right. And Pat showed us the list that he had, and I thought it was so powerful. Something as simple as that list, and that's what you're talking about. You've got a tool bag now.
So Pat's is similar to what I've got as well. So it's like, if you're starting to feel shit, I look over the last. So my one is kind of similar to Pat's. But I'm like, have I had enough water? Have I been for a walk? Have I been listening to podcasts and audio books that are positive? Have I been to the gym? How's my diet been? They're my 5 things. And I can guarantee you now that if I'm feeling shit, all 5 of them things are not there.
Yeah.
Like, because if
how
you're
simple,
doing
how
them,
simple is that concept?
it doesn't seem that it should work, but it does.
Oh, mate, you know, it's changed. I've got it written on my wall now, and a big part for me is, am I consuming positive content.
Yeah.
That's a massive one. I sat down with Shelley yesterday. I was sat opposite Shelley. She was breastfeeding. Her mum was in the background, and we were having a little chat. And she was like, "You're right." Because Shelley's had a wobble a couple of days, so we've been talking about that. I was like, "I don't know really." And she was like, "Well, you seem quiet." I was just like staring into space. And I was like, I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it. Everything's all right, but I'm kind of like a bit agitated, like I can't settle. And she's like, well, what's been going on today? What have you been doing today? And then I suddenly realised that all I'd been doing on Twitter, you know what I'm going to say, is looking at people mugging me off, right? But not, you know, I'm bad for it. Yeah. But obviously I'll put that thing out about the benefits. But it wasn't just that. I also looked deeper into it, and I'd been on X, which is obviously a cesspit. It's just horrific. Twitter is just horrific now. And I'd come across 3 videos or 3 posts about horrific stuff that had happened to young girls in the country, about what's going on in this country and stuff that had happened, and then I was rabbit holing on these things, and then I suddenly went, oh fucking hell, I spent 2 hours reading about this horrific stuff. Of course I feel like shit. Yeah. Like a massive part of us, of everyone out there, should be very conscious.
What are you consuming?
What are you consuming?
And that's why the walking for me does it, because I won't listen to a podcast indoors. Like, that's fucking weird. So when I go for a walk for an hour, I will listen to a podcast.
That's escapism. Yeah. It's escapism as well.
If you listen, I did it on the way here, right? So now I'm coming to do a sober podcast. So on the way here, I listened to the podcast that got me to go sober in the first place. It's like a friend of mine, Paul. He done like a 7-month sober podcast, and I listened to it on the way here because I know that puts me in the thing of, okay, today I'm talking about being sober. And I do the same thing when I'm doing comedy and stuff. I can't be having a down day and then go and get on the stage. So there's little toolkit things that I do now. Like if I'm going to be performing in the evening now, I'll make sure I go to the gym in the morning. I make sure I have a decent lunch with like nice protein. I go for a walk. I listen to stuff that I want to listen to, and it makes so much fucking difference. Yeah. And then even music, I'll put music on an hour before and just it puts me in the place that I need to be. And sleep as well. Like I made sure I went to bed early last night because I know I'm coming to do something that's me talking for ages. And I think when you put all of them things back the other way, so if you've got no sleep, you've been out on the night, you've eaten shit food,
you're watching
you feel
shit
like shit,
video.
you're watching shit. All of a sudden, that checklist is the other way. Yeah. And then where do you think you're going to go?
Yeah, you're fighting a losing battle or trying to feel good. I think that you know, a massive thing that you said a minute ago as well is when your feelings come to you, you know your feelings. This is, you know, when you say we were talking about people trying to stop drinking and then relapsing. I'm hands down, I think the most important thing to my sobriety. And to anyone else's sobriety is like, you know, the alcohol, like people say it all the time, the alcohol's the solution, right? The alcohol's the solution to your problem, right? So you take away your solution, your alcohol and your drugs, you take that away and you go sober. You've got to start working on the fucking problem. You have to start working on the problem, otherwise you're going to continue to need the solution. In general, day-to-day life, my sobriety, when I put the work into it, is fairly easy unless stuff happens to me, right? And I think that I've got to, I mean, I don't want to say it is too easy because I was wobbling like shit before I started this podcast again. I needed to put the work in. You need to stick at the meetings if that works for you or whatever. You need to talk about it, be around people and all that jazz. But I can handle my feelings because, like you said, I understand my feelings. I see my triggers. Something will come in. I feel jealous. If I feel jealous, I'm like, why am I feeling that? And then I try and look at the reason why. If I'm angry, if I'm feeling depressed, vulnerable, sad, if I'm like, oh my God, like no one likes me, because I have a lot of negative talk. No one likes me. Have I fucked my career up with that last post? I was only joking. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. If all of these negative thought loops start kicking off, I now am in a position, which I think you are as well, and I don't know what that's called, enlightenment or self-awareness.
It's just hyper-awareness.
Hyper-awareness. Yeah. But I'm in that position now where after a certain amount of time, I go, whoa. Like, what's going on here? Let's dissect this. Let's step back. Let's have a look at it. Whereas before, and I think a lot of lads out there, because especially lads, I keep saying lads, but us lads are not emotionally intelligent. We are not given these tools. We don't know what we're doing, right? There's a lot of lads out there that go, oh my God, that has fucked me off. Fucking, why is that going on? I'm having a fucking drink, bang. And they don't realise that they can control that it's energy. Yeah. It's fake. It's not real. Like your thoughts and feelings are not real until you act on them, right?
And you haven't dealt with it either. You've just pushed it away with the
Drink,
So
yeah.
something that Paul said in that podcast is people say self-sabotage when they're like, right, that's it, I'm just going to go out and going to get smashed. And he always labelled it as self-soothing, which always stuck with me because he's like, you're not sabotaging, you're making yourself feel better. Like that's what you're doing. You're
Facts, that's
self-soothing.
so good.
Yeah, and that always stuck with me. But I remember someone, I don't even know who said this to me, but someone said like when you first have a baby, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And then like all of a sudden, I had this a couple of days ago. I was sitting with the baby and she did that, like literally that for 2 seconds. And I went, oh, she's tired. And then I've got her to go to sleep straight away because I noticed the signs. She's done that. And I know that means she's tired. If I hadn't have caught that and it had gone another half hour, I ain't getting her to sleep because she's gone past it.
Yeah.
And someone said to me before, that's what you do with yourself. That I have little things now where I go, zoning out was one of them. If I sit there and I know I'm not watching the telly and I'm not doing anything and I haven't like said anything for ages and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, why am I zoned out? What am I thinking about?
Yeah.
And then I go back to it and then I pick it out and I always just go, if I need to do anything now, I'm like, right, go for a walk. And you know what's really funny as well? I'll be angry and I'm like, right, just go for a walk. And in my head, I'm thinking, a walk's not going to fucking fix this. It's not going to, I'm fuming. There's no way a walk's going to do it. I'll go on my walk for 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, fucking walking, this is pathetic. I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, like it's gone. Like the anger, for ages. I don't know what part that is, but for the beginning of the walk, I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I go, oh, that's nice. Like the geezer there walking with his dog, or like there's like the birds in the pond, and I'm like, oh, I'm back. And then I'm like, right, okay, so it has worked. And it's knowing. Because if you say to someone, oh, you're a bit angry, go for a walk. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off, mate.
Fuck
like,
off. You go for a walk.
What
you're doing my head in, you fuck off.
But it will work.
Yeah.
If you walk somewhere for 20 minutes, even if it's because you're tired, even if it's because you're walking up a hill and you're starting to go, I'm fucking knackered here, all of a sudden you're thinking about being tired and the fact that you're fat and you can't walk up a hill, not the fact that you're pissed off because your missus didn't make you dinner or whatever the fuck it is you're angry about. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just...
that last bit, you fucked yourself up. You're coming across as a sexist fat geezer. No, I completely get it. And I think something that you should be proud of and that I feel proud of, especially, and not to rub it in your face, but especially having a son now, is that like if I had a son, no, but mate, I wasn't a very good role model, right? And I think a beautiful thing to leave people on this podcast is, you know, I say it all the time, but you know, whatever you've gone through and whatever mistakes you've made, you know, whatever fuck ups you've made, right? As long as you're like accountable to them, like if you can be a geezer or a woman or whatever out there, and you can be accountable, you can say, do you know what, that was bad, and I need to rectify that. And you learn how to cope differently, right? Then you're building up a tool bag that you can pass to your kids. Like, I know stuff to say to Jax, Neve, Rue, Sage. I know stuff to say to them now. I mean, I find myself having conversations with them now that's even surprised me when I'm talking about how they're feeling and what they should do. And it's I come away going, fucking hell, mate, I might actually know what I'm talking about a little bit now. And that's because I've been through some serious shit, man. Like, not wanting to be here, getting yourself on your knees and crying, you know, it's horrific, but you're like, all right, I know how I got there.
Now I can help.
So I think that's a beautiful thing. Anything you want to finish on, mate, before we go? Anything you want to get out there to people that are listening?
Not really. It's just something you just said then, you know, like, so that was a big thing for me, is still being a geezer. Like, still feeling like because I thought a lot of the thing that made me a man was like, I go to work all week. I go down the pub on a Friday. I see my mates. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm a fucking geezer. And it took me a long time to realise that isn't actually what is making me a man. And the fact that I can still be, like, people want to talk to me now. I get messages on social media. People are like, I want to go for a beer with you. Why? Why do you want to go for a beer with me? I don't drink. All of these things I'm doing are not thingy to you. Yeah. But they still like me. They still think I'm one of them. And I think it took me a long time to realise that you can actually still be, like, I consider myself, it sounds horrible saying, but normal. I still think I'm normal. When I stopped drinking, I thought people that didn't drink were idiots. I thought they were...
Yeah, it's a very backwards culture in the UK.
And that's what I thought. And it took me a long time to realise that I can still be me and still have a decent group of friends, still feel like what I consider normal, still be able to talk to my dad and my uncle, and they'll give me a bit of shit like they used to, but I'm still part of that crowd, even though I don't drink. And that was a big thing for me to realise, that you can actually still be that and still be what I consider a better man now for me than I was before.
I think to nail it up in a sentence, to me, you know, I was just thinking then when you were saying that, what does it mean to be like a man, like to be a geezer or to be a man? And I think what it means to be a man is, the true measure of a man is what they're prepared to sacrifice for the people that depend on them. Like, and I've got a lot of people that depend on me, like a lot. And so have you, right? So the sacrifices that we've made are that's how I would want people to measure me as a man. Not how successful I am in my career, not how funny I am or how much of a geezer or a lad I am or how many people like me. I want people to measure me on what I gave up, what I sacrificed, what I changed for the people that depend on me. Because especially as an addict, it is so difficult to put other people first. Like I've always been the most important person in my life. Like my ego was always like, well, what do I get out of this? What about me? Where's my fun? True measure of a man is a man that can go, it ain't about me, it's about them.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I think you've done that, mate.
Thank you.
I definitely think you've done that. That's definitely what attracted me to you, not in a sexual way, because I'm off the gear, you know what I mean? No, but that's definitely what attracted me to you. And without sounding condescending, because you're successful in your own right on your social media platforms, but where I wanted to help you in regards to like your live stand up and building that aspect, and I'm very nervous about letting people into my circle because there's so many dickheads around, and I've had a lot of fucking pricks fuck me over and mess around and use me for my platform. But the reason, definitely something that attracted me to you was that you were a family man. And I could tell that meant a lot to you. You're ambitious, but the main thing was that you're working towards goals. You're working towards goals, and at the same time, very conscious of your mental health. And I want to be around people like that. Like I want to learn from you what works for you. So congratulations on your sobriety and your success.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. You too.
Yeah. And where can people find you?
Instagram. So
in a park.
You did it earlier. You did it. Everyone's like, oh, he's very successful on TikTok, and it makes me sound like a 12-year-old girl, and it really still bothers me.
Yeah, but, or a wrong one.
Yeah. But no, Instagram, mate, Daryl Robinson Official is where you'll find me most of the time. I spend a lot of my time on Instagram talking to people and doing stuff like this. Like I get a lot of messages as well. Every time I put a sober video out the other day, and every time I do it, there's always people reaching out, and I think it's my responsibility to reply to all of them, like, because if I know how hard it was for me, because I did the same. I reached out to Paul when I listened to his podcast, and he responded, and that really made me feel important. Like I felt like, oh, he does actually care. Like he's put this thing out to the thing. I said thank you for it, and he just sent me a message back saying like, I'm glad it helped. So I always feel a responsibility to do that as well. So if you are struggling with anything, then you'll always get a response from me on Instagram.
Yeah, mate. I try. But I struggle to respond to everyone. It's like, it's too much for me. So that's why I created Men and Their Emotions, which you're an ambassador of now. Yeah. So thank you for that. And we should do some content. But I struggle, and sometimes it can make me feel quite dark when stuff's too heavy.
You have a different thing with me with that, because I don't read into stuff. So I'll read it, but things don't put me in a mind. I've got to the point now where when I read something, I don't attribute that to me. Yeah. So it's a little bit different. And I just think, but then that's why doing stuff like this, like I've done a few sober podcasts before, because now what I will do, if people are struggling, most of the time I'll say like, well done for reaching out first time. Like, if there's anything I can do, let me know. But go and listen to this podcast, and you'll see everything that I've got to say.
That's what I do. I try and direct people to the podcast or to the group. Yeah. But listen, thank you very much, mate. And people can keep an eye out for our sketches that we do together. And have a nice Christmas.
You too, mate.
And
thanks for having me on.
We'll have to get the kids together. You can meet my boy. No, I love you, man. Thank you, Daryl.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Menace to Sobriety. I feel really good about that. That is exactly what this podcast is about. Just sort of a no holds barred, like sort of unfiltered chat about sobriety and the do's and don'ts and what works and what doesn't. Please do reach out to Daryl, at least give him a follow. He is a very, very funny guy, a lot of relatable material, especially for people that are into my stuff. You'll like his stuff. And if you're going to ping him a DM, send him a naughty pic. All right, he loves that stuff, especially if you're a geezer. I just had to put a bit of banter, otherwise it's been too soft.
Serious.
Yeah, we got too serious. Yeah. He loves a game of cock or ball, so ping that over to him. No, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure that you follow us, make sure that you share this, and most importantly, please tag someone in this wherever you're seeing it if you think it could help. And feel free to join our group, Menace to Sobriety. It's a group for men that are looking for answers, man. We're trying to reshape vulnerability into strength in men and their emotions. It's a Facebook group with over 60,000 people on Facebook. And if you're a geezer, you can post on there anonymously and, get some shared lived experience. It's a great place for support. Don't suffer in silence. And that's another great podcast. Thank you. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Wicked. Fancy a pint?
Let's have it!
It was amazing!
Absolute class.
You're his bad. Oh, fucking hell. I've had my mental health journeys.
I love you because of it.
Oh, thank you very much, my friend. I love you too.
Best comedian going, love him to bits.
How long have you been together? 8 years! And you're still holding hands. Grow up, man.
The show was absolutely hilarious.
Being uncancelled, like 10 years, and getting sober, and then getting here. So I just want to say thank you. My brand new 60-date 2026 UK tour is already over 70% sold out. Get your tickets to your local show quick, sharpish, while you still can.